massively experienced, consecutive Paralympic champion in London and Rio at the last two Paralympic Games. Also consecutive Para-Asian champion in Korea 2014 and 2018 Indonesia, Jakarta last year. Here is someone we've seen a couple of times on the range this week already, Irina Shetnik of Ukraine. This is her consecutive World Championships after she placed 6th at the 2018 Games in Korea.
Representing Sweden with World Cup
and on firing point H, it's Sweden's Anna Norman.
From Korea last year, it's Anna Norman.
She won silver at the 2018 World Championships in Korea about a year and a half ago. So those are some of the 8 athletes who we could catch on the range. But thank you once again for joining us. My name is Shaq, and for this final I'm really pleased to have with me the Slovakian rifle shooter Radoslav Malinovsky. Radoslav, really good to see you today.
Hello to everyone, and thank you for inviting me.
Thanks very much for having us. We're going to look forward to talking to you across the final and to talk to you about your experiences and your knowledge. And of course, you have your very close teammate and I assume friend, Veronika Vadovichova, in the final as well.
Yes. Veronika is the human who brings me to the shooting. So I know her very well. So it will be interesting to see how will she go through the final.
Yeah, she's so experienced in rifle shooting and competes in I think 4 disciplines in total. Veronika, there she is on screen at the moment. She is in fact the defending world champion event.
It's hard to say because she can win the medal in any of her events. So it will be very interesting. And this final is full of best women shooters from disabled shooters, so anyone who is there can win.
Yeah, there's some really good experience on the range. We noticed that Anna Norman is taking the kneeling position on the ground, just like an Olympic shooter. Irina Shetnik, just to the left of her, is sitting on a chair, and it looks like the other rifle shooters are taking kneeling positions in wheelchairs, which we remind you that they are allowed to rest their hands on their elbows, rather, on the table, one elbow on the table.
From my point of view as a shooter, I was thinking a lot about how are the differences between healthy shooters and disabled shooters in the positions. But I think that as we are using the 10 centimeter diameter thing as an fixation below the one elbow, it is very similar like healthy shooters.
Yeah.
And although the results are almost the same, I think that the health shooters are to be different, but they are similar.
Yeah, so we can see that Anna Norman, just closest to us on screen at the moment, is resting her elbow on her knee, and the other shooters who use the tables can rest one elbow on the table. Anna Norman has started the competition well. She has hit a 10.5 and a 10.6, just hit a 9.9 with her third shot. This is Bai of China, who's taken 3 shots, the third being a 10.1, her best shot of the series so far. Just behind those shooters, we could see the Slovakian coach. This is Veronika Vadovichova. She's just taken her 4th shot, which is an 8.9.
It's not a very good start, but as we can see, almost every shooter starts with some bad shots, and it quite happens in the final of this competition, because it's absolutely different, even like the qualification one. In the qualification, the shooters have their own rhythms and concentration, and this is different. They are under time pressure, under mental pressure,
Yeah.
so the start is usually we can see bad shots usually at the start.
Yep. This is Avani Lekara of India, who has never won any medals in the R8 event, and but she came 7th at the Para-Asian Games. She shot a 5th shot. Norman of Sweden has finished shooting her 5 shots and ends the first series at the top of the scoreboard with 50.9.
Stop.
Well, on our scoreboard, we can see that 2 Chinese shooters, Zhang in firing point F and Bai in firing point B, well, on our scoreboard, they have notes next to them, which are A2 and B2, and I think this is some kind of penalty, perhaps.
I'm actually not sure what happened, but if there is penalty, maybe they load before the command load. But if I should be honest, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, we might have to wait a little bit to see what is the effect of those 2 remarks, but we'll try and keep you updated. Production crew, can you hear me? And this is not going live, right? No, I mean, I'm going to talk about live. Okay, cool. I'm just going to keep that held because I want to mention something to my... So, we've just started the second series of shots in the kneeling position. Hiltrop of Germany shoots a 10.7 with her first shot. This is a nice view of all the shooters on the range at the moment.
I think that in this series we will see which one from the shooters will start to feel confident, and we can expect higher scores also.
Vadovichova shot a 10.6 with her second shot and follows it up with a 10.3. Difficult shot for Bai, 8.2. Hildrop of Germany is going well. She's shot another 10.6, just followed out with a 9.5 with her fourth shot. Lekara of India, 10.6. That was the German Hildrop on the left. This is Lekara, India, 10.6 with her fourth shot. 10.9 from Lee of Korea, who's on firing point E.
We can also see some not very good shots from Chinese Bai. I think that if the remark is under the penalty, it could take her under bigger pressure, and now she's trying too hard and it's not working.
Yeah, A2 and B2, if this shows on the scoreboard, it's usually, as Radoslav, you mentioned, possibly a points deduction for failing to adhere to the rules or the commands. And it's interesting that both of the remarks come over the Chinese shooters. And I can't say for sure, but it's possible that looking at the scores of the Chinese shooters, 47.7 and 45.4 in their first series, is that they include a 2-point penalty. And now Bai of China finds herself 5 points adrift at the bottom of the scoreboard. Well, at the end of the second series in the kneeling position, Hildrop of Germany had an excellent second series, 51.2, which was the highest of any of the athletes, but also the highest of any athlete in the final so far. and she's in third place behind Lee Yun-ri of Korea. Only by 0.1 though. Norman of Sweden, who's still
Differences now are so small because this event includes more than 45 shots in the final, and you can shoot just one bad shot and your advance is out. So it's still open, it's still not decided, and it's very far from some decisions.
Yeah, the first elimination doesn't come until way after the 40th shot, so even if the shooters have started poorly, there's a lot of time to make up.
For me, when I'm shooting this final of this event, it is very difficult to be on time at the position, because in the qualification you have 15 minutes for preparation and sighting, and it's not in the final, so it's different event. And I think that the best shooters are not training only the qualification, the usual event, but they train also the final when they are under the time pressure, and they need to be really quick in the position, and it's hard.
Norman of Sweden has shot 2-10 so far of her 3 shots. 10.6 from Hiltrop. Lee Yun-ri has taken 3 shots, 9.6 shot one so far in this series.
And we can see that the shooters in the middle of results table are still changing. Sometimes who is on 5th position can be immediately on 2nd, and it's changing. And some of the shooters who are at the first positions now cannot be on the same position after another positions, because some shooters are better in kneeling, some shooters are better in prone, some in standing. So it's open still.
Yeah, there will definitely be some preferences for the shooters as to which discipline they prefer in this particular competition. Levani of India has had she's had a really good competition. As you said, Radoslav, they might start a bit poorly, but they will gradually improve as they get into the competition. And Likhara of India is one such shooter, because she's improved with every series so far. And in fact, her 3rd series is 3.2 better than the score of her 1st series. And she's currently in joint 2nd position. So an excellent competition, an improving competition for the Indian Likhara so far. Norman of Sweden finished that series with 51.6, which is the highest score of any athlete so far, so she's found her form as well and is already leading the competition by 1.7 now, Norman. And the Swedish shooter seems to be having a good period of form in this particular competition, because a year and a half ago at the World Championships in Korea, Norman won silver medal, and this year she won her a gold medal at the World Cup in Croatia.
We can also see that the grouping of Anna Norman and Avani Lekar is very nice, and if I will be on their position, I think that a few adjustments with the sighting should increase their score even a little more.
And just to remind our viewers, by grouping we mean where the shots of those shooters were placed. We couldn't quite see that on screen, but what we noticed behind the scenes is that the shots of those particular shooters, Likhara and Norman, the 5 shots in that last series were quite close together. Well, at the end of the 2nd series in kneeling, Bai of China was about 5 points adrift, but she's managed to improve that, and she's now 3.5 behind 7th place. Seventh place is a good moment. In Canada, and I'm mesmerized by her hair because I was talking to someone earlier today who thinks that at 20 years old she's never cut her hair.
Actually, I was speaking with her yesterday during the final of mixed team, and I was asking for how long her hair are growing, and she said that since 6 or 7 years, if she had a haircut, it is just like
Tiny snip.
tiny snips. Yes.
I mean, so that's like 13, 14 years she's been growing that. It's amazing.
And
Amazing.
what is interesting about her hair is that she can't wear the one
Ponytail.
yes ponytail because it's too heavy, and then
Wow. Oh, so she can't because of the weight of it.
yes,
That's
yes.
so interesting.
That's why she has the two of them.
That's so funny. Well, who we can see on screen at the moment is one of the most famous Paralympic shooters in history. On the left there with the white hair and the pink cardigan is Elizabeth Kosmala. Now, Elizabeth first participated in the Paralympic Games in 1972, and she competed in 12 consecutive Paralympic Games all the way up to Rio 2016. Sadly, not the games, because she's never won, but she has, I believe it was 9 Paralympic gold medals, 2 silver and 1 bronze in an unbelievable career. What's your interaction with Libby, as they call her, Radoslav?
I'm shooting for 15 years already, and I remember her from my really early start. And she's a really nice person. She's a legend. She was, and I think that she's still able to make some results.
Yeah.
But she's retired, and now it's very nice to see her here, and it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, she just loves being around the sport, even though she's not competing internationally now. She coaches a little bit. She still shoots for fun now and again, some national and continental competitions, but she just loves being around the sport, and you can see that she's always got a smile on her face around the range as well. It's really good to see her.
Yeah, I didn't remember her face in a sad way. I always remember her as she was smiling in every competition.
You're right. Well, we can see that as the shooters are taking sighting shots for the prone position, Anna Norman is the only one who is prone on ground. The other shooters can use both elbows rested on the table. And in fact, I was talking to a couple of Anna's colleagues just before the final, and they said that at the moment she does have the ability to compete in Olympic shooting as well, although perhaps her injuries are a little bit up and down, so Paralympic might be the way forward for Anna.
I know that she's taking part in Olympic events across the world, in World Cups, and I already saw her sometimes in the competition of Olympic shooters, and I think it's a really good opportunity for her to be part of Olympic and Paralympic shooting, because every competition brings experiences. So it is nice that she's doing also Olympic shooting.
Yep. So we're just reaching the end of the sighting time. It was 7 minutes in total. When you do this sighting time, Radoslav, what are the keys? What are the important factors for you when changing over?
Well, I can say that this final absolutely changed my preparation, because this during the changeover times we need to get the very quickly, and it also kind of rifle we are choosing, which kind of equipment we are choosing, and how we built it, because we need to be quick, and it needs to be just really easily changeable. And I think that 7 minutes, it's really tough.
Yeah, I mean, literally every shooter says this, that 7 minutes, you really have to have a good system in place to make sure that you're efficient with changing over. And I don't think I've spoken to any shooter who says it's a comfortable amount of time. It's pretty fast. And of course, you want to make sure that your heartbeat is stable before you start shooting the competition again as well, which isn't so easy when you're changing a lot of things.
And I think that the little bit harder thing is that in Paralympic shooting we have a lot of equipment like the chairs, tables, and it is difficult, you know, and when you are nervous and something falls from your hand during the changeover time, everything is different, like from the trainings. So you need to be really calm and relaxed, and you need to be focused.
Well, we're into the prone position. A lot of the shooters have taken particularly close together. Lee of Korea shot a 10.8. Shetnik follows up a 10.7 with a 10.6. Vadovichova with her fourth shot just had a strong 10.7, and she needed that because her first three shots were on the borders of the 9. So she needs to come back strongly. Hiltrop with a 10.8.
I'm curious how the standings will change after the prone. It is different position from kneeling. I think that in prone you need to be really precise with the triggering, but in the kneeling you're more focused to be on the spot, and every little mistake can be 8 or even really worst shot. But in prone, your both hands are resting on the table, but the triggering is like the surgery.
Yeah, prone is generally the most stable position of the three in this particular competition. Well, normally the final by it was about 1.7, but now she's only 0.1 ahead of the Korean Lee Yun-ri, who shot a 52.2 in that first series in prone, which is an excellent score, and has really brought her much closer to the leader Norman.
I was personally expecting a little bit better scoring from Chinese Bay, but the differences between the shooters are still not very big, and I think that again, like every time, standing will decide, because in standing it is very hard to shoot to 10. But it is very easy to shoot 9s, so any difference of 2 or 3 points can be easily erased.
Yeah, we were talking about that with my previous guest, Jonas Jakobsen, as well, who said that standing is really where the match is decided. In this second prone series, Hiltrop has shot a 10.7 followed by a 10.2. She's in, as it stands, she's in third place. I think that's actually 2 10.7s in this series so far for Hill, and almost exactly as well. of Independent. Lee is having a really good prone position. We said that she scored 52.2 in her first series. She's taken 5 shots now. Her fifth shot in that last series was a 9. a 9.6, but she ended it on a 51.8, so it's still a good score. And Lee is actually leading the final now. She's jumped over Norman for the first time.
We can see from this series that Natasha Hilterp, Anna Norman and Korean Lee are doing really good, really great, and they are even good drone shooters in air rifle. It's some of the shooters which are good in drone in air rifle can also be good in small bore rifle in 50 meters shooting, and we can see that Natasha is doing well.
Yep.
I think Veronica is improving also. Her series was 51.2.
Yep.
And the best series here was 52 from Natasha. And if we can say that it is the final shooting, because usually in qualification they are able to shoot more than these results. And they have 30 seconds for each shot. In series, I think that they have 150 seconds for 5 shots.
Yeah.
What is again 30 seconds for 1 shot, and if you are under pressure, it can be hard to be on time.
Zhang of China, who's currently in 6th place, shot a 10.7 with her first shot. Norman with a 10.8. Vadovicheva 10.5. The same for Likhara. A 10.8 for Bai, who's currently in 8th place. And we should mention that we were talking just now about air rifle prone. Of course, this is a discipline that is unique to Paralympic shooting, because in Olympic shooting they no longer even have the 50-meter prone position at the Olympics. But when it was an Olympic event, it was 50 meters and it wasn't 10. But in Paralympic shooting, we do have air rifle prone in 10 meters. Bai has shot another 10.7, so and then followed it with a 10.6. So that's 3 very high 10s, which could lift her off the bottom of the table where she's been since the start of the competition. The Chinese position. She just shot a 10.8 with her 4th shot.
For me, as a shooter, it's very interesting to see the finals and see how the other shooters are making their positions, because some new shooters, some newcomers are very often watching the best shooters, and they are trying to make similar positions like them. But I think it's not a good way how to do it, because everybody is different, and what is working for me cannot be working for the others. So shooting is about trying, about improving in little steps, and not about trying to copy someone other. It's just not working here.
Well, at the end of the prone position, Norman finished with 52.3, which is a very good score. And look at that, the athlete in 8th position, Bai, she finished the prone, her 3rd prone series with 52 points. That's easily her best series in the competition so far. But crucially, we remember at the end of the 1st series, bearing in mind she had a 2-point penalty, she was 5 points adrift of 7th place. But now that's less than 1 point. Only 0.7 between 8th and 7th now, so she's managed to make up 5 points up to this, which is an excellent going from the Chinese shooter.
And now we will see how she will shoot standing. And as you already said, standing is the position where medals are decided.
Remember, we are broadcasting it live, so
And
as we
but we
enter
can see that Anna was going pretty well. 52.3 was her last series, what is very nice for shooting, for prone shooting.
I don't know what the official term for it is. You know,
Yeah, Anna Norman is leading this final by 1.2 now, so she's managed to pull a little bit clear because that was down to 0.1
and don't do it straight away because it's a long final.
not too long ago.
When we're in our dramatic moments,
So we can see now that the shooters are getting ready for the last stage of the competition. And here, of course, in Paralympic shooting, they can use some help, some assistance with making sure that they're efficient for the last stage of the competition. And, of course, well, there's 9 minutes in this particular changeover, and you're going to tell me that's not enough either.
Not, it's not. The help from our assistants are crucial here. To change the gun, to be on the position, and sometimes you have a bigger disability. It's really hard to do everything by yourself, and you really need the assistance here.
We can see Veronika Vadovičová just making some adjustments to her rifle with the help of Slovakian coach Milan Golenia. Milan Golenia.
Yes, he's Slovak national coach. And also he's Veronika's partner. They are doing great. Their work is really harmonized.
Yeah.
And every one of them knows exactly what to do and when to do it, and it works. When you are watching on the shooters and their assistants, they are not communicating even between each other because they exactly know what to do.
You're right. Yeah, that's a really interesting observation. They obviously have a relationship and a system in place where they know exactly what is needed for the shooter.
It is without communication, and we can see this between each assistants and shooters. They hardly say some words during the changeover time because they exactly know what to do.
So Vadovičová, who we saw there and we're looking at, she is currently in 5th place, and that's 1.2 away from Hiltrop in 4th. Anna Norman on screen at the moment is leading, as we said, by 1.2. And there's about 4.5 minutes of the changeover to go. So Radoslav, you unfortunately didn't qualify for the final in your discipline today. How did your day go?
Not every day is not Sunday, and today was definitely not a Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's the sport. This is the part of our sport. You can do just a few bad shots, and you're out of the final. And this is World Championship where only the best shooters are, and I don't know how many, but maybe 15 or let's say 10 or 15 first shooters. Every one of them can be on the podium, and there are only 8 places for the final. So, but it's still every time it is true that only the best shooters from the day will go through and will be in the final, and it was not
not quite your day today.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is okay.
What are some of your good memories from the last few years of particular events that you've enjoyed and competitions that you've had good success in?
I'm actually enjoying every competition. I'm not making big differences between World Cups or World Championships. For me, every medal counts, every success counts, and I'm trying to prepare myself for every one competition as best I can I am able to. So, but this is a really nice competition. It's the Australia is different. The nature is different. The weather is different. Uh, I like it. It's a good experience to be here. The people are nice. The organization is very good, and the shooting range is one of the best in the world.
Yes.
Definitely, we can see only few shooting ranges across the world which have the similar level of quality like this one in Sydney.
You're right. Yeah, they really have got a beautiful world-class shooting range here that we're lucky enough to broadcast from and hold competitions from. Of course, it was built for the Sydney 2000 Olympic and Paralympic Games, and as I was saying a little bit earlier, the range is identical. With the upper and lower levels and the way that you're walking through the range, I think that Rio was very much modelled on the Sydney range, and it's beautiful over here.
I also heard about the Rio shooting range that I'm not sure how they made the design of the shooting range, but it is very similar, and also the backstage areas
Yes.
are very similar.
Yeah.
But what is special here is that in Rio you have no kangaroos around
Yes. Yeah.
and no parrots directly on the range.
Yeah. Apparently, you can see the kangaroos around very early in the morning. I haven't seen one yet, but what is worrying for me? I don't know if you've seen this, but in the pathway leading up to the canteen, there is a stone and rock wall, and on that wall there is a yellow sign which says "Beware of snakes."
Yes, yes.
And I am for sure glad that I have not seen any snakes in reality apart from that sign yet, because I don't like snakes.
But what is funny about this is that you have the sign of beware of snakes, but you can, at least we can see, we saw very much of the shooters and assistants was going around and
Yes.
was trying to find some.
Yeah, yeah. I'd rather keep my distance.
And near the rifle shooting range, there is also the shotgun range, and on the field you can see the kangaroos, and they are even not afraid of people. They are not afraid of
Yeah.
shooting. So it's the special. This is the specialty about this range.
Yeah.
I think that for example, for me, the only place where I can see kangaroos are in the zoo.
Yes, that's true.
And here in Sydney in shooting range.
Yeah, they're out in the open.
Now we can see the standing position, and as I said before, now this will decide because it's very easy to shoot 8
Yeah.
in this position, and it's very hard to shoot only 10s.
Yeah, we've already seen some 8s from Likhara, Vadovicheva, Norman. In fact, Likhara, the Indian, has 2 8s so far, and she's going to need to be careful about that because she could slip out of the medal positions. There's a 10.9 from Zhang Kuiping, the Chinese shooter.
For standing, the more you are trying to do your best, the worst mistakes can easily be done, because if you will imagine that distance from shooter to the target it's 50 meters, and the 10 it's more than it's about 12 millimeters. I'm not sure how big it is for now, but to to shoot 10 from your position, it needs really precise work, and only little mistakes are big mistakes on the target.
Well, Norman from Sweden, who you can see on the screen at the moment, she hasn't hit a 10 yet. She's hit 1 8 and 2 9s. She is still leading as it stands. Hiltrop shot a 10.8 with her fourth shot. She's currently moved into the medal positions ahead of the Indian Lekhara now. Here is the German. And she finishes her series on 49.5. So she shot 110.8. Lekhara just shot a 10.5. Norman has finally got a 10. That came with her fourth shot. It's a 10.2. Zhang of China and Vadovicheva have swapped places, so the Slovakian has fallen into 6th with the Chinese shooter moving into 5th.
I was now watching the position of Natasha, and if you will carefully look to the front of the gun of the rifle of the shooters, you can even see the heartbeat, the small movements of the barrel.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's really hard to notice, but if you watch really carefully, you can pick up those small movements, and those are crucial because, of course, with every shot you want the most stability.
Yes, I think that the experienced shooters like we are here on the World Championship, it's not very hard to get the right position, but to get the position where your heartbeat is not making really big movements, this is the hard part of it.
Well, the Chinese shooter Bai Xiaohong, remember we said that in the kneeling position she was 5 points adrift. She then managed to make that up to within 1 point, but now once again she has slipped back to 5 points behind after she shot a 46.7 in that first series of standings. So that was a difficult start to the standing series for the Chinese shooter.
And there is small difference between first and fifth place, 2 or 4 points. Still nothing in standing.
Yeah.
As we can see now, Lekhara shot 9.3 and Natasha Hiltrop shot 10.4, and one shot makes 1.1 points difference. So
that start to the in standing, there will be a double elimination, so 8th and 7th will be decided. 10.7 for the Indian Lekhara, but by the Chinese shooter 5.1, and I would say that pretty much ends her competition. She's going to be eliminated at the end of this series. Vadovicheva shot a 10 even, so that's 3 10s for Vadovicheva now. That's good going for her.
A nice grouping also. And I'm also sure that Chinese Bay will be out after this series because the difference is too big, and
yeah,
I think there is no way how to save this.
Yeah. Lekhara, the Indian, has been able to move back into the medal positions, at least temporarily. She's in 3rd. Norman, the Swede, still leading. She just shot a 10.3 with her 3rd shot. Well, Vadovicheva, it was 3 10s, then it was a... I think that's a... Yeah, then it was a 9 and an 8.5.
America will not be satisfied with this final, definitely, because I train with her and I knew what she is able to do, and we had really good trainings before the World Championship, and she trained a lot, and this is definitely results what she was expecting.
Yeah, well, Veronica is she is an amazing shooter, and she does compete in 4 rifle disciplines. But just the way at the moment this is going, it hasn't been such a strong competition, as we know she can shoot, and crucially she is the defending world champion, but almost certainly she is going to give up that championship for this particular discipline. Just one more shot to go from Zhang of China, and then the eliminations will be confirmed.
Stop.
Well, Bai of China unfortunately just had a really poor standing series, and it is confirmed for her that she is eliminated in 8th place. 2 bronze medals in the last year, bronze including this year at the World Cup in Al Ain. Also the same colour at the Para-Asian Games in Jakarta last year. So Bai takes 8th place, and the defending world champion in this discipline, Vadovichova, takes 7th place. And Veronica's elimination does mean that there will be a new world champion now. Norman of Sweden has increased her lead to 1.6 ahead of Lee, and Likara has also opened up a little bit of a gap between her and 4th place now. She's moved back into 3rd position, the Indian, and is 1.9 ahead of Hiltrop in 4th.
This was definitely not day for Slovak shooters.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's as I said, it's the part of the sport. You cannot be on the podium always.
And Vadovichova still has a couple more competitions to try and win some medals. We should also mention about the quota places. Great Britain, Norway and Korea won the 3 quota places available for Tokyo 2020. So well done to them. 10.6 from Hiltrop, but a 7.7 from Likara. So that means the German is going to swap places with the Indian and get into the medal positions. 10.4 from Norman. Good shot.
I think that this was some unlucky mistake. There's plenty of things which could happen to shooters. You can touch your trigger during the positioning, and it's a bad shot.
Well, Irina Shetnik of Ukraine, you're just seeing her on screen at the moment. This is her 2nd consecutive appearance in the final of the World Championships. She also appeared 6th in the World Championships in Korea 1.5 years ago, and she's finished in the same position this time around. That's also a good point to mention that in the preceding years, the World Championships for World Shooting Parasport would be every 4 years. This year, particularly in 2019, we are changing the format, and they're now going to be going forward every 2 years in the odd years before the Olympics. Or not before the Paralympics every time, but there will be every 2 years in odd years. So 19 this year, and then the next World Championships for parachuting will be in 21.
I think this is great news for us because the more bigger competitions we have, the better for us.
Yeah.
And because it's different to prepare for small competition, and it is a little bit different to prepare for the biggest competitions. Because on competitions like World Championship or Paralympic Games, there are almost every best shooters.
Anna Norman just shot a 10.7. Zhang of China, she was 0.3 away from safety, but she just shot a 9, and so that confirms 5th place for Zhang Guiping of China, who, by the way, is the consecutive Paralympic champion from London 2012 and Rio 2016. She takes 5th place at this World Championships. Norman is 3 points ahead of Lee in second place now. And, well, Natasha Hiltrop, she's had a good standing series. And she moves herself, the German, into third. Likhara of India is 3 points behind the medal positions now. So that looks like Avani Likhara might lose out on a medal.
Yes, I agree. 3 points difference for one shot is a big difference, and I think that it is decided about the fourth place.
However, a really good competition for the Indian because, well, she hasn't won any medals in this R8 discipline. She probably won't win one today, but fourth place is her best finish in this particular competition. So hopefully she'll be pleased with that.
Yes, definitely. I think she had a good start. For me, it looks like she appeared from nowhere, and she immediately was able to do really good results. And I think that we can expect from her and also from Irina, from Ukraine, big results in the future.
Yeah. Well, that confirms it. Avani Likhara, fourth place. It is her best finish, and back champion. I'm sure they'll be pleased with that. So well done to her. Well, Hiltrop has now moved into second place ahead of Lee Yunri. For the first time, Lee has fallen down into third and is now 0.5 behind the German. So just at the crucial point, could Natasha Hiltrop hold on to the silver position?
I think that the last shot from Korean Lee was about the mental strength. Natasha was able to handle it, and Korean Lee Yunri was not.
Oh, well,
this
Hiltrop
happens to Natasha.
Yes, Hiltrop has shot a 7.5. She smiles and has a little shake of the head, but at least she goes with a medal. It will be bronze, though. So Natasha Hiltrop, bronze medal in this discipline. 1 year ago, she won her first gold in the R8 final, winning that in Châteauroux in France. And this year, she won silver at the World Cup in Croatia, which was 4 months ago in June. And she takes bronze at the World Championship, so well done to Natasha Hiltrop. Well, there's one shot left in the final, and Anna Norman, as she has done since the beginning of the final, is still leading. It's a 2.5 advantage. It looks like it's going to be enough, but
Everything can happen like this last shot.
Exactly, yeah. It's a healthy advantage, but Anna Norman just needs to keep her cool a little bit, and she will be the new world champion. And we remind you that at the last World Championships, Norman won silver. So she's definitely guaranteed consecutive medals at World Championships, and it looks like it might be the big one here. 9.6, it's enough.
Yeah, she got it.
And a good finish for Lee Yunri, a 10.3. That's a silver medal for the Beijing Paralympic champion when she won gold in 2008. And Anna Norman is the new Paralympic world champion. She looks very happy about that as well. Silver at the World Championships in Korea 1.5 years ago. Gold today makes Anna Norman the 2019 Paralympic world champion.
Congratulations to winners. The girls made a really good job, and it was really hard to predict who will win, who will be on the second or third position. And if somebody will ask me before the final who will have the medal, I will definitely not making a bets about it.
Yeah.
And we can see also the new world junior record of Avani Likhara.
Yes, well, on our screen we can see that Avani Likhara, the Indian we were talking about, finished fourth, and with 4:29.3 set a new world record for a junior in the final. So well done again to Likhara. Perhaps a bright talent for the future. On screen you can see the three medalists from this event once again. Natasha Hiltrop with the bronze medal, Lee Yunri of the Republic of Korea with silver, and Anna Norman, the new Paralympic world champion for 2019. Well done to all of those and the participants in today's final. Well, Radoslav, it was a real pleasure to be joined by you today. It was your first time, but it seems like you've been doing it for a long time, and we appreciated your knowledge and your experience and your conversation as well. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting. I enjoyed this final, and my apologies to everyone who was hearing my goulash grammar.
Your perfect English. Your perfect English. We wouldn't want anything more than that. No, it was really good to see you, Radoslav, and of course, best of luck. We'll hope to see you in the future. Obviously, we hope that you'll always make the final, but if you don't, you're always welcome with us here on the commentary.
Thank you very much. For me, it means that whenever I was not able to be in the final today, I actually was in the final.
Yes, exactly. You get the experience of watching it with us as well. Well, thank you very much. Really good to be joined by you. You can like, subscribe and share on the Paralympic Games YouTube channel, also the Facebook page for World Shooting Parasport. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the final, and we'll see you next time at the Sydney 2019 World Championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, human men, human women, the victory ceremony for the R7 men's 50-meter rifle three positions SH1 event will begin in a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for the R7 men's 50-meter rifle free positions SH1 event is about to begin. Let's welcome the medalists. This is the victory ceremony for the R7 men's 50-meter rifle free positions SH1 event. The medals will be presented by Volker Kagila, chairperson of the Rifle and Pistol Jury, and Kath Patel, president of Shooting Australia. The bronze medal representing the People's Republic of China goes to Dong Chao. The silver medal representing the Republic of Korea goes to Park Jin-ho. And the gold medal representing the People's Republic of China goes to Tian Fugang. The national anthem of the People's Republic of China. So congratulations to the People's Republic of China and all of our medalists. We'll just pause for photographs to be taken. And that concludes this victory ceremony. The next one will be for the R7 men's 50-meter rifle free positions SH1 team event in just a couple of moments. Let's welcome the medalists. This is the victory ceremony for the R7 men's 50-meter rifle free positions SH1 team event. The medals will be presented by Volker Kekila, chairperson of the Rifle and Pistol Jury, and Kath Patel, president of Shooting Australia. The silver medals representing the People's Republic of China go to Dong Chao, Tian Fugang, and Gu Dongchao. The gold medals representing the Republic of Korea go to Park Jin-ho, Ju Sung-chul and Sim Jae-yong. the national anthem of the Republic of Korea. Congratulations to the Republic of Korea with the gold medals and the People's Republic of China with the silver medals. So we'll just pause for photographs to be taken. So we will be back in just a matter of moments with our final victory ceremony for now, which is the R8 Women's 50-meter Rifle Free Positions SH1. welcome the medalists. This is the victory ceremony for the R8 Women's 50-meter Rifle Free Positions SH1 event. The medals will be presented by Volker Kakila, Chairman of the Rifle and Pistol Jury, and Kath Patel, President of Shooting Australia. The bronze medal, representing Germany, goes to Natascha Hiltrop. The silver medal, representing the Republic of Korea, goes to Lee Yoon-ri. And the gold medal, representing Sweden, goes to Anna Norman. The national anthem of Sweden. So congratulations to the medalists for the R8 Women's 50-meter Rifle Free Positions SH1 event. Natascha Hiltrop, Lee Yoon-ri and Anna Norman. As we pause for some photographs to be taken. So that concludes this victory ceremony. We've got one more to come a little bit later on, and that is for the P6 10-meter air pistol mixed team SH1 event. But we've got the final first before we can get to the victory ceremony, and the final will take place in about 25 minutes, 6:30 start time.